Hey, and good morning. It's Dan the Healing Man with you today, and I'm ready to have a little talk here, a little bit more about honesty. We've already talked about in part one of honesty how it's really two different simple ideas. One of them is honest effort, and if you're really going to go after the Jesus strategy, it's important to give it an honest effort. You know if you've given it an honest effort or not. No one else might know, but you know. And the other element of honesty that we talked about was intending to deceive. So, honesty, for the sake of our discussion, because there's all sorts of philosophical things about honesty, is honest effort and intent to deceive. And what we've talked about already is how it's not necessary for you to recount every single detail about something you probably don't remember correctly anyway in order to call the situation honest. It's really about your heart and your mind and how you're going after it. So there's some things that honesty is vital to, and we touched on it, but we're going to go a little further with that today. But honesty is the foundation of trust. And trust is another thing that is really ambiguous for a lot of us. A lot of us don't trust. And the reason why we don't trust oftentimes is because we ourselves are not necessarily trustworthy people. So how do I become honest enough to trust? Well, I think the main thing, the key ingredient, and it's a key ingredient we talk about all the time, is willingness. Are you willing to give an honest effort, to not live a double life and deceive people, to not tell yourself things like your feelings or your circumstances are somehow caused to you and not for you, to not believe that God is somehow against you, because he's not. He's not. You may well be acting and doing in a way that is self-destructive and against you, but God is not against you. So how do we build this trust in relationships? Well, there's an idea behind trust that's really, really important, and one of them is reliability. Reliability is so important for trust. And you got to a great example of this would be when you go to the grocery store, right? And you find exactly what you're looking for, exactly where it always is. You might say to someone, hey, I'll run to the store and get it. You know right where it is. And that seems like a trivial example perhaps, but it's still true that you absolutely trust that your favorite store has that in the right spot waiting on you. So when we think about honesty, I want you to equate it to trust. All our relationships are based on trust. In a big way, spousal relationships are based on fidelity or trust. This idea of commitment, this idea of honor, respect, that we're going to do the things that we say we're going to do. And in many ways, that's what trust boils down to. Are you going to be reliable and do the things you say you're going to do? There's two other elements of trust that are really, really important. One of them is integrity, right? So I got reliability and I got integrity. Integrity is kind of like a fabric, and think about fabric all meshed together, right? And if it's torn or something, you begin to think, the fabric's ruined. It's ruined. Integrity is much the same way. If you're not interwoven with your circumstances in such a way that it's seamless, that there's no damage to it, this is exactly what integrity is. It's just like this. And when you break it, it's ruined. So having integrity or having consistency in your actions is very important to trust. And the third one is ownership. Own your circumstances. I can trust you to help me with my problem if I see that you're able to help yourself with your problem. Own your circumstances. Your circumstances are not caused to you, though there certainly are things that affect us that have nothing to do with us, that we didn't make happen, that perhaps we feel like we don't deserve or something like that. That doesn't mean that the emotional impact, the behavioral impact isn't ours to deal with. Indeed it is. So owning that, saying, okay, this bad thing happened or this person's acting in a way that's difficult, I'm going to handle it in such a fashion that I express the fruits of the Spirit, the most powerful positions, the most courageous positions when it comes to difficult circumstances will rest right in a reverent faith, a reverent gratitude, backed by a strong, dedicated faith. So when we move honesty to trust, when we're honest, we're involving the building of trust, the foundation of every relationship that you have. If you're in the recovery world, or if you're in just the regular world, if you've had situations where you violated someone's trust, you know it's something that you must earn back. But what the Jesus strategy tells us is to trust up front. So one of the ways I get trust is not only to act reliably, with integrity, and to own my circumstances, but also to treat people with trust up front, even though there might be something coming to me saying, do not trust them. And that doesn't mean be a doormat and have people come at you and just, take advantage of you, though they will. You can count on that. It also means holding them in the brightest light, that there's some potential that your instincts are telling you something that is incorrect. Do not live afraid of other people and circumstances all the time. It's just a waste of your time. So, as we move through our ideas on honesty, we've got a couple more parts still to come. I hope you take it all in. It's real simple stuff. Honesty, being honest, not intending to deceive, and giving the Jesus strategy an honest effort, meaning giving it all you can. You will find that you build trust-based relationships that are reliable, that build your integrity, and they have integrity of their own. And you'll be able to own your circumstances much easier. So I'm glad you joined me for this little piece, a little bit more information on honesty. And we're going to do a lot more honesty. It's even though it's something we don't like talking about, it's something that's so important. And it's ambiguous. Who knows really what it is? So in the next one, we're going to talk about the difference between truth and honesty. Yeah, for a lot of us, that's the same thing. Perhaps it is. Let's see if we can define how they're different. Thanks for listening today, and I look forward to coming back at you with something new real soon.